A year ago, my life took an unexpected and painful turn. I discovered that my fiancé had been unfaithful, and the revelation hit me like a punch to the gut. What made it worse was her cold and arrogant response. She smugly claimed that I would never find anyone like her. Fast forward to today, and I am in a loving relationship with a model who, unbeknownst to me, had secretly admired me since our high school days. Recently, while scrolling through Reddit, I stumbled upon a post from a man whose girlfriend had cheated on him. Her indifference toward the situation struck a chord with me, bringing back painful memories of my past relationship. My ex, whom I'll refer to as Chloe, had shown the same lack of remorse. How it all began. Chloe and I met through a dating app designed for people seeking serious relationships. At the time I was 33 and she was 30. From the very first conversation, our connection felt effortless. We shared the same sense of humor, bonded over common interests, and could talk for hours without running out of things to say. After several weeks of chatting online, I finally gathered the courage to ask her out. Despite my excitement, I also felt insecure. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone as stunning as Chloe was out of my league. To my surprise, she accepted, and our first date exceeded all expectations. From there, things progressed quickly, and before long we were officially a couple. In the beginning, everything felt perfect. But as time passed, I started noticing subtle shifts in her behavior. Small red flags that I initially ignored. The red flags. Chloe naturally attracted attention from men, something I didn't mind at first because I trusted her completely. However, one night during a casual conversation, the topic of hall passes came up, the idea of getting a free pass to be with a celebrity. With a playful smirk, she mentioned Justin Timberlake as her choice but then added something that unsettled me. I doubt many celebrities would say no to me. Though she said it jokingly, her words lingered in my mind, planting the first seeds of doubt about her character. Over time, her behavior became even more concerning. She started coming home later than usual, always with vague explanations about why she was running late. When I tried to express my concerns, she would become defensive and irritable, brushing off my questions as if I were being unreasonable. She insisted her late nights were due to work-related stress, but something felt off. Despite my desire to trust her, a gut feeling told me that something was very wrong. Uncovering the truth. As my suspicions grew, I considered checking her phone, but I knew that would only lead to more conflict. Instead, out of desperation, I made a decision I never thought I'd have to make. I hired a private investigator. It felt surreal, but I needed the truth. I provided the investigator with all the necessary details, including her daily routines and the places she frequently visited. For the next 10 days, I lived in agony, waiting for answers. Each night, Chloe would come home with increasingly flimsy excuses, and my doubts only intensified. Then on the 10th day, I received the call I had been dreading. The investigator confirmed my worst fears. Chloe was indeed cheating. He had photographic evidence of her repeatedly entering an apartment building with the same man, whom I'll refer to as Cody. Seeing the photos made my heart sink. Deep down I had suspected it, but nothing could have prepared me for the pain of seeing the proof with my own eyes. The confrontation. That night, when Chloe came home, I didn't waste any time. I laid out everything I knew, showing her the evidence of her betrayal. Her reaction was nothing short of shocking. Instead of showing remorse, she laughed. "It was just physical," she said dismissively, as if her betrayal meant nothing. Then with a smirk she added, "Honestly, you should be grateful to be with me." Her arrogance and complete lack of guilt left me in disbelief. At that moment, I knew there was nothing left to salvage. I ended the relationship on the spot and walked away, determined to rebuild my self-worth. A new beginning. The next day, I returned to our shared home to collect my belongings. Chloe remained in complete denial, acting as if my decision was just a temporary outburst. "I knew you'd come back," she said with a smug expression. Her words only strengthened my resolve. Without a second glance, I walked out of her life for good. In the months that followed, I reflected on everything. Chloe's arrogance had blinded her to the reality that she wasn't irreplaceable. And as much as the breakup had hurt, it turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me. A few months later, I attended my high school reunion. Initially I was hesitant, but I ended up having a great time reconnecting with old friends. During the event, a mutual friend casually mentioned something that left me stunned. Veronica, a breathtaking model from my high school days, had always had a crush on me. I couldn't believe it. How could someone like her have been interested in me all these years? Encouraged by the revelation, I reached out to her on Instagram. To my delight, she responded enthusiastically, and before long we started talking regularly. What began as catching up soon turned into something deeper. Our conversations flowed naturally, and as we transitioned to video calls, I realized how much I enjoyed spending time with her. Eventually, I mustered up the courage to ask if she would be open to something more than just friendship. She said yes, a love worth fighting for. There was only one challenge. Veronica's career required frequent travel, but I wasn't going to let distance stand in the way. Determined to make our relationship work, I booked a flight to Brussels, where she was working at the time. The moment I arrived, I felt an undeniable connection. I accompanied her to a photo shoot, watching in awe as she worked. I snapped photos, cheered her on, and for the first time in a long time I felt truly happy. However, in my excitement I made a small mistake. I posted a few pictures from my trip on my Instagram close friends story, forgetting that Chloe was still on my list. Within hours I received a message from her, mocking me, accompanied by a laughing emoji. Calmly I replied, confirming that Veronica was my girlfriend. But instead of moving on, Chloe's reaction turned bitter. Looking back, I couldn't help but feel a sense of irony. She had once arrogantly declared that I would never find anyone like her. Yet here I was with someone far more incredible, someone kind, intelligent, and genuinely caring. Before blocking Chloe for good, I ended our final exchange with a parting remark. You were right. I never found someone like you. I found someone better. Now, with thoughts of proposing to Veronica swirling in my mind, I feel nothing but gratitude for how everything unfolded. Had things worked out with Chloe, I never would have found the woman who truly values and cherishes me. And for that, I am endlessly thankful.